This is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space channel. Today I'm doing adult Bible studies, and this quarters unit is called God Abides, and we are on January 14th. And the very first reading for January 8th, which is Monday, is Acts 7:9 through 22. But I probably will read more of Acts 7 than this. I might end up reading the whole thing. So hold on to your hats for this adult Bible studies. This might be a long Bible reading. This chapter is about Stephen. And Stephen was, what happened was, after Jesus ascended and Pentecost happened, then the church was growing, and the disciples appointed some gentlemen in the community to take care of the charity work for the church, because there were widows and orphans that needed help. And if they took all of their time distributing things to the needy, then they wouldn't have time to pray and to minister to people and spread Christianity. So one of these, I think it was 7 people. Hang on. Let's see. 7 men, yes, of good reputation, full of the Holy Spirit and wisdom. So one of those 7 men was Stephen. And he was most certainly full of the Holy Spirit. And he would also go to the temple and talk to his friends in the temple about Jesus. Now, Caiaphas and the Jewish council thought they had gotten rid of their Jesus problem, but little did they know. And so they felt things were worse and their power was more threatened than ever because of Christianity now. Even though they felt like they had killed off Jesus, and they didn't believe Jesus had risen from the dead. There was a rumor spread, a false rumor, that somebody had carried off the body. And so here we are, these people that went to these great lengths to continually argue with Jesus, continually follow him around to entrap him, to get him killed, to catch him up in hypocrisy, have now got a more diverse problem, because there are now many, many people that are following Jesus, and each disciple has become a threat to their beliefs and their power structure and how things are run at the temple and so on and so forth. All the same concerns they had when Jesus arrived on the scene. So Stephen is one of the appointed, and they arrest Stephen, and he's on trial. So we're going to start in Acts chapter 7, verse 2. And he said, this is Stephen, "Brethren and fathers, listen. The God of glory appeared to our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Haran. And he said to him, Get out of your country, from your relatives, and come to a land I will show you. And he came out of the land of the Chaldeans and dwelt in Haran. And from there, when his father was dead, he moved him to the land which you now know, which you now dwell. And God gave him no inheritance in it, but even enough to set his foot on. But even when Abraham had no children, he promised to give it to him for a possession, and to his descendants after him. But God spoke in this way, that his descendants would dwell in a foreign land, and that they would bring him unto bondage and oppress them for 400 years. And the nation to whom they will be in bondage, I will judge, said God. And after that, they shall come out and serve me in this place. Then he gave him the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begat Isaac, and the circumcised him on the 8th day. And Isaac begot Jacob, and Jacob begot the 12 patriarchs, the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And the patriarchs became envious, sold Joseph into Egypt, but God was with him and delivered him out of his troubles and gave him favor and wisdom in the presence of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and made him governor over Egypt and all his house. Now a famine and a great trouble came over the land of Egypt and Canaan, and our fathers found no sustenance. But when Jacob heard that there was grain in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. And the second time Joseph was made known to his brothers, and Joseph's family became known to the Pharaoh. Then Joseph sent and called his father Jacob and all his relatives to him, 75 people. And so Jacob went down to Egypt, and he died, he and our fathers. And they were carried back to Shechem and laid in a tomb that Abraham bought for a sum of money from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem. And then the time of promise drew near, which God had sworn unto Abraham. The people grew and multiplied in Egypt, till another king rose who did not know Joseph. This man dealt treacherously with our people and oppressed our forefathers, making them expose their babies so that they might not live. And at this time Moses was born, and was well-pleasing to God, and he was brought up into his father's house for 3 months. But when he was set out, Pharaoh's daughter took him away and brought him up as her own son. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in word and deeds. Now, when he was 40 years old, it came to his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel, and seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended and avenged him who was oppressed, and struck down the Egyptian. For he supposed that the brethren would have understood that God would deliver them by his hand, but they did not understand. And the rest of the day he appeared to 2 of them, and they were fighting, and tried to reconcile them, saying, Men, you are not brethren. You are brethren. Why do you wrong one another? But he who did his neighbor wrong pushed him away, saying, Who made you ruler and judge over us? Do you want to kill me as you did the Egyptian yesterday? Then at this saying Moses fled and became a dweller in the land of Midian, where he had 2 sons. And then 40 years had passed. An angel of the Lord appeared to him in the flame of fire in the burning bush in the wilderness of Mount Sinai. And Moses saw it, and he marveled at the sight, and he drew near to observe the voice of the Lord, who came to him, saying, I am the God of your fathers, and the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses trembled and dare not look. And the Lord said to him, take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. I have surely seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt, and I have heard their groaning, and I have come down to deliver them. And now come, I will send you to Egypt. I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to do a part 2 because this is a very long reading. But Stephen took the opportunity as he was brought before the high priest and the elder council of the Hebrew people to do a history lesson with them and to explain that he was not the hypocrite that they were. So we will continue this history lesson from Stephen. It's very interesting and goes along with my Torah readings that I do on Sunday evening at 5 p.m. You all have a wonderful and blessed Sunday.